From a different perspective, we actually are being joined by Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clarke to tell us a little bit more about the Clinton River Trail, the recent meeting, and the future of it. Thank you again for joining us, Ben.
Pleasure to be here.
We were recently talking about the status of the Clinton River Trail from the perspective of the vice president of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, Josh Eichenhorn. But now, from your perspective, you are also a user of the trail and, like we said, a Sylvan Lake City Council member. Can you talk about, from your perspective, a little bit about the recent meeting and just your perspective of the trail overall?
Yeah, so I'm a council member, and as a Sylvan Lake resident too, we absolutely value the trail. It's nearly 20 years old. They're celebrating 20th anniversary, um, and it's been a wonderful asset. The trail that was never supposed to happen did happen, and you know, we have seen such a growth in its use. It's really incredible. Um, as a trail user, I ride my bike to work, so I use it to get to work, and I use it almost all summer.
Yeah. So, from your perspective, being part of city council and obviously, like we said, just a user of the trail, what challenges or concerns do you see with the trail in Sylvan Lake, and how would you address them?
So I think for me, the biggest thing is I see people use the trail during the spring and fall thaw season.
Hmm.
It's really more like a winter thaw season, but basically, people do a lot of damage to the surface of the trail using it when it's muddy. So I guess what I'd like people to understand is that that damage when you see your footprints and you see your bike tires in the trail needs to be repaired every season, and it comes to the tune of quite a bit of money, almost $40,000 we have committed to that
Sheesh.
for our very small section.
Oh my goodness, Ben, I would never have thought it would take something like that to repair or maintain those trails. But that's great information. That's some type of information that I wasn't privy to. So yes, make sure you are taking care of the trails and I guess using them less during the winter season. Is that correct? Is that what we're
Only really
essentially?
if you see your footprints or your tire in the mud. It's
Oh.
miserable to be doing that.
Hmm.
Walking in the mud is no fun. Biking in the mud is no fun. But with the advent of e-bikes and things like that that make it a little easier to push through the mud, you can really do quite a bit of damage, and it ruins it for other trail users who need that smooth surface.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Great perspective. Thank you for adding that. Joining us right now, Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clarke, talking about the status of the Clinton River Trail as they celebrate 20 years here in the Sylvan Lake community. How are you making sure that the needs of the users and the residents of Sylvan Lake in regards to this Clinton River Trail are being heard and considered in any decisions being made?
Well, we have a city council meeting every month and a study session. We passed something, or what do we do? We funded some crossings to make them more handicap compliant. They cross it at Pontiac Drive in a straight line, and at Inverness too. So that was one way, I guess, that we've kind of like helped improve the trail. Um, Otherwise, I think we talk about it a fair bit, using it. We're a small community, so people
Hmm.
hopefully see that we're users of the trail too.
So with that's a great point. With that being said, a small community, I think that's very, very important because we all know each other. We're all neighbors. We're all family and things of that nature. Can you talk about the importance of the neighbors, the family, and just residents in general using the trail and maintaining the trail, and actually how it builds the camaraderie within the community also?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It does build community. It's a very safe walking path. There's a huge amount of pedestrian traffic in Sylvan Lake. That's a good thing from my perspective. We really love walkers and bikers and everyone who comes to our community. And a lot of people from outside the community really come through our community because it's beautiful to walk through. The trail gives them a great access point. I know many people add it as part of a loop in their walk. We've used it as part of a loop in the Glow Roll, which is a bike parade that Gavin Marshall puts on,
Ooh.
and that's been going on for a few years now. I think that started maybe around COVID, but anyways, we do like a bike loop with lights on bikes, and it's a cool community event. And then yeah, just generally, people do get together through trail use, and that's excellent.
Nice, nice. Any last words? Any important information for the Sylvan Lake community, Ben, or future aspirations, or I should say, future goals or plans for the Clinton River Trail that you want to tell people about?
Sure. I think the bigger picture of the Clinton River Trail, hopefully people continue to use it for more transportation purposes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I did kind of mention, e-bikes are something new, and growing in popularity radically. I hope that in the long term, people kind of start seeing, hey, I could get to some of those Orchard Lake businesses like Kroger and do some grocery shopping, like small order grocery shopping, and bring it back home that way rather than driving cars quite so much. And businesses hopefully will start to see to turn themselves towards the trail,
Hmm.
realize that that's a really valuable access point, and it can grow that way.
Great point. Great information. And thank you again so much for your time. Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clarke joined us talking about the Clinton River Trail, the status of it, and the recent Silver City Council meeting about it. Thank you again for your time, Ben.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.